want to make sure that I acknowledge the sponsor of the show, Tiege Hanley, because Tiege Hanley sent me this new pack. They sent me the new Tiege pack, so I just literally pulled the paper out, got it out of the mail, and I started going through it, and I got a little bit more excited than I should. You know what I'm saying? So they did send me the Tiege pack, and I don't even know what this is yet. So I'm assuming this is what you get when you first order your Tiege, and I don't know what this is. Oh, this is dope. This is absolutely dope. Is this a nail kit? Ladies, get this for the fellas. Fellas, don't wait for the ladies to get it for you. This is free. This just comes with it. 30% off your first order, plus 20% off for life. Literally. Oh, snaps. I didn't know that they were sending it like this. Real talk. So this is the nail kit that they sending you. All right. So now you ain't looking like a dusty. This is a free gift straight from Tiege for the people that ordered the Tiege. They got the small one for the little hands like mine's. They got the big joints for your toenails. And then they got the joints at the bottom too. You know what I'm saying? For y'all that's a little bit more crustier than usual. All right. So that's one of the free gifts that Tiege got inside of the pack. And then what is this? Says squeeze a quarter size amount of Tiege Hanley body wash on the center of the wet bristles. Lather, scrub, rinse, and repeat for the perfectly satisfying wash every time. So that's inside of there also, right? Ooh, I can get my rubber ducky on right here. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to Tiege for sending me that uncomplicated skincare for men. And then what we got in here? We got the actual Tiege pack, right? So this is the normal Tiege pack. But then they gave me the supersized joint for the people. They wanted me to show the people exactly what they got when they ordered that first Tiege pack, when you're getting your 30% off your first order, and then you get your free gifts. You get 2 free gifts, and then the 20% off for life. So the 20% off for life is a new thing. And, dang, I ain't even got my keys on me to open this up. Maybe I can use the little nail clipper thing. I ain't got to buy no nail clipper for my new joint downtown. And then you get all of the washes, all of the scrubs, all of the AM, the PMs, and all of that stuff. So you got the whole thing inside of there for you to make sure you take care of yourself. But you got to make sure you take care of it every day, right? We don't want to miss days. We don't want to be looking like dusties. It does not absolve you from being able to make sure that you brush your teeth. Brush your teeth. It don't fix the teeth problem. Don't fix you ironing your clothes. Don't fix you being able to take care of your business. But it absolutely makes sure that your skin is phenomenal, even when you're going between shaves. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to Tiege Hanley. We absolutely appreciate you. Thank you for continuing to hold us down. I might do an official Tiege commercial, but I like just talking authentically to the people. I like giving the people the authentic look of what it is that you're dealing with, and I want you to hear from me personally. Because anybody can do that little pitch and they can make some little videos, but very few of us can actually speak to the products of exactly what it is that you're supposed to use. So yeah, Tiege Hanley, 30% off your first order and then 20% off for life. That's the Anton Daniels pack, 20% off for life. Using any other Tiege pack, make sure that you go ahead and let that go. And make sure you tap into the link that's in the description and take care of it, all right? What's going on is Anton from AntonDaniels.com. That's a little bright. Let's make sure we fix that. What's going on is Anton from AntonDaniels.com. I appreciate you guys for continuing to rock with me. Thank you for tuning in for another edition of the Millionaire Morning Show. I'm your host, Anton Daniels. It is the 27th of May. 27th of May, 2024. Year of our Lord. Let me go ahead and give you guys a round of applause for being here this morning. You could be anywhere in the world, including sleep, because I know a lot of y'all had a lot going on over Memorial Day weekend. It is Memorial Day, but you know what we do. We don't miss. We never, ever miss. Ever, ever miss. And I'm always surprised. I got a video today. I was actually going over a bunch of review videos that you guys sent me. And trying to figure out how I wanted to end the show. Because you know I like to highlight other content creators, and I've been getting a lot of videos of people sending me that basically says, you know, people don't want to work. and they want to get comfortable and they want to just mill it around or maybe start their own business, or they don't want to work a 9 to 5. And it's not a real glorious life. I will say that you always working. I worked on a plane over to Atlanta. I worked on a plane back from Atlanta. So a lot of you guys know that I spent some time out in Atlanta. My daughter won gold. So that was absolutely awesome. And when I flew back, I took a little bit of nappy nap when I got back. And then I was right back in the mix. And so I was really on the phone yesterday with a realtor trying to purchase some new property. And so we supposed to handle that and get that tied in this week from a person that is under duress and can't hold on to the property, and he's been getting lowballed, and the city is forcing him to do something with the property. And so you know that when we got that cash, we could just swoop in and then make a all cash offer that they can't refuse, and then we go ahead and push out everybody else that's trying to get financing. And then that's how the real estate game works. It's big bank take little bank. All right. So we back in the mix. Again, it is the 27th of May, Memorial Day. Welcome to the Chasers. Make sure y'all tap into the Patreon if you have not already. Link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. And I want to give a shout out to our sponsor, Tiege Hanley. That is 40% off your first order, not 30, 40% off your first order, plus a free gift and 20% off for life. If you guys are not a part of the Tiege family, get the Tiege family. The link is in the description. Ladies, get it for the fellas. Fellas, don't wait for the ladies to get it for you. And then make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. The link is in the description, as well as pinned to the top of the chat. What's up to my friends and family? Y'all said this glass snowball is from the 1960s. Actually, it's not. This is of MGM Grand in Detroit. See that? MGM Grand, Detroit. I don't know how it's from the 1960s. And I like to keep my little snow globes. I switch them out here and there. What's up, friends? How y'all feeling? Give me one word in the chat. One word in the chat on how y'all feeling on this Memorial Day. I will say, I think that it's there's freedom in being broke, freedom and not having options, freedom in not being in relationships and things like that. You know what I'm saying? Like when you don't have anybody that's drawing on you, or you don't have anything that you have to be responsible for, I think it's freedom in that. And so in a way, I could see why broke people are so gung-ho about never ever having to do anything, and why people are able to just quit their jobs. And I don't know. We'll get there. We got a long show. Let me see what y'all talking about inside of the chat. Y'all said Anton is the realest dude in Detroit. I appreciate that. A-Day, AD, Monopoly Real. Blessed to those who made the wider platform. Good morning, Anton. Cool, blessed, wonderful. Tied, says Eric Daniels. Woo! Not zesty. Awesome. Ready. Productive. Awesome. What up, Anike? Blessed. Chase Barnes says lovely. Stupendous. Stoic. Relaxed. Good. Check cleared. So you happy? I feel you on that. Glorious. Thankful, says Slimmy. Lovely. Great. Grateful. Stupendous. Stocks. Encouraged. Trump 2024. Indubitably, says your car. Blessed to be free. Relaxed. Muggy. The riches. Freelancing. Working. Rich. More money. More problems. True. Blessed. Tad. Oh, Treese. God bless you. I'm not happy about the fact that you lost your grandmother on Friday. Hopefully of natural causes in old age, but always take comfort in the fact that they ain't got to suffer on this earth here with us trying to compete. Grateful, freelancing, chilling, travelers, blessed. God bless you. Rushed. How am I doing today? I feel ambitious. I want more. I don't know why. I think that I'm partly influenced by seeing all of the Monaco and the Grand Prix over there in Monaco, and seeing all of the Ferraris and stuff. And it's just like, I was telling Rita over the weekend, I said, man, when is it ever enough? You know what I'm saying? What do I have to accomplish before I feel satisfied? And then I realized that I don't think that you ever can accomplish anything enough to be satisfied, because Sorry about that. Had a little bit of sneezy sneeze. Had the 4 or 5 sneezes. You know what I'm saying? I don't think that you could ever really get to a point if you're a productive person where you say that's enough. They always say, what's the number? And you say more. You know what I'm saying? So got to get a little bit of hand sanitizer popping. Somebody says, 80, what watch you got on today? This is one of my favorite watches. This is my Omega Seamaster. An Omega Seamaster with the rose gold on it. It's one of my favorite watches. I picked this up in Tampa, I believe. Yeah, Tampa. So this is my Omega Seamaster. This is the watch that I like to wear out of town a lot. I don't take my Rolexes with me too often unless I'm going for a specific event. But yep, that's the Omega Seamaster, and we get into it. All right, so I know a lot of y'all wasn't expecting to necessarily have a show today, especially you new people, but we do not miss, and we get it in, and we get it popping. And so I appreciate you guys for rocking out with me. Thank you for everybody that said bless you. I want to acknowledge a couple of people in the super cash apps. I want to acknowledge Maurice Watkins. Shout out to Maurice Watkins. I appreciate you, big dog. And I also want to acknowledge my guy, Mike That Dude. Shout out to Mike That Dude. Mike That Dude always holding me down on Cash App. And I do have a full show for you guys today. So again, make sure you tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description. And then also make sure you hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. Y'all ready to get started with the show? Let's do it. Quick Hits, y'all. Quick Hits is a segment of the show that we don't necessarily think that we need to talk about everything on a particular segment, but we do have a theme today, and I think that everybody are at their tipping point. I think that people are at their tipping point. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. Shout out to Pookie's friend Ray Ray. I'm definitely going to be reading those super chats shortly. A girl fatally shot in a slew of shootings in Chicago over Memorial Day weekend. And Memorial Day weekend, technically the holiday isn't even over yet. Take a look.
Dozens of shootings this holiday weekend so far. Neighbors tell me the area where this latest shooting occurred were involving a 5-year-old, that there had been an ongoing gang conflict for the last several months. Regardless, a 5-year-old now dead, her family making funeral arrangements. Shattered glass on the ground, this Range Rover's backside window shot out, and bullet holes rupturing a nearby apartment window.
Missed the first round, but the second round, I heard fire, gunfire.
Police say a group of people were standing outside when gunshots were heard. 5-year-old Reg Ware was inside the vehicle when she was shot in the stomach. She later died at the hospital. A 24-year-old man who neighbors say is her father was also shot in the leg. It happened here at Jackson and Campbell, 3:30 in the morning Sunday.
And honestly, it's just been like a war zone.
Unfortunately,
I'm sorry. Let me revise that. How does a 5-year-old, I realize that I'm muted. I'm sorry about that. How does a 5-year-old end up sitting in a car at 3:30 in the morning? Just curious about that. At 3:30 a.m., a 5-year-old is sitting in the car, and that just so happened to catch some bullets along with, I guess, daddy or whatever. How does that happen? And nobody deserves to lose their life, because nobody deserves to be deserves to get shot no matter what time of the day that you're sitting in the car, whether it's 3:30 in the afternoon or 3:30 in the morning. But I'm always curious, what is a 5-year-old doing in the car just sitting on a street at 3:30 in the morning? That is so weird to me, bro.
Memorial Day weekend typically sees a rash of shootings citywide, with Chicago beaches now open and festival season here. CPD's top cop says safety is paramount, including increased police presence.
I want to be clear that we will continue to patrol and protect neighborhoods.
Is that with the 2,000 cop shortage in the summer?
We will use overtime and day off cancellation to make sure we are sufficiently staffed, but we will be judicious in how we use it.
And you also got to realize that most Chicago cops at this point is making over $100,000 a year because they are so short-staffed. So everybody is being overworked, which also does not bode well for morale or people being able to do their job in order to be able to solve these crimes.
Do you see police a lot in the area? Just patrolling?
Yeah, basically. But it could be a lot better. They could patrol a little more.
Back here on the near west side, surveillance cameras posted at the scene here, here, and here. But neighbors say, what good are they doing with ongoing crime?
It's terrible, man, and only thing I can say is that maybe the community need to come together, you know?
Yeah, you can forget it. You can't negotiate with terrorists, bro. And that's literally what you're dealing with inside of some of y'all neighborhoods are basically terrorists. In other news, shots fired after a single mother rear-ended on the Beltway. Check this out. This is crazy.
A woman seen on a viral video shooting into the air at a crash scene near Humboldt is now charged.
And only on 13, we are giving you a look at the video that you have yet to see. ABC 13's Jessica Willie is live with the rest of the story. So, Jess, the victim says it was more dangerous than they initially thought.
Yeah, as if shooting into the air isn't dangerous enough. The victim tells us this woman, Micaiah Mitchell, shot at two of her relatives at that scene. Tonight, Mitchell is out of jail on a $30,000 bond.
Y'all can't park right here.
A violent response captured on video. Now widely shared on social media. Another angle shows the beginning of that interaction.
I have nightmares.
The victim, who asked to remain anonymous out of fear, tells ABC 13 it was even scarier than this.
So it was 5 bullets. So it was not 2. It was 5.
It was last Tuesday along the North Belt Feeder Road near Humboldt when this single mom was rear-ended.
She was coming too fast, so whenever she tried to brake, it was too late already.
She says she called her mother and sister-in-law, who came to the scene and then called 911. As she waited, her relatives went to check on the driver, who she says caused the crash. They were met with gunfire.
I heard 3 pows. It was 3, and then that's when I saw my mom running towards me and my sister-in-law running to her car.
That was before she pointed at a passing vehicle and fired into the air. At her car, she says she pointed the gun at her and left. Seconds before Harris County Sheriff's deputies arrived. Micaiah Mitchell was the suspect. They say she was arrested just down the street. The 21-year-old now charged with aggravated assault and unlawfully carrying a weapon.
My question is, why would they do that? Like, you need to be a normal person.
The mom of 2 young children, traumatized, but grateful no one was hurt.
Once a bullet go up, comes down. Imagine it would have hit somebody. Imagine she would have.
What is wrong with y'all? Are y'all literally Room 9? I'm launching that channel today. Man, it's basically going to be dedicated to all of the idiots. Room 9, the new channel that I'm launching today, with pre-recorded videos, is going to be dedicated to all of the idiots that continue to do the dumbest stuff that I see on a regular basis. Are y'all stupid? Is something wrong with y'all? Where was y'all? Like, every day, man, you wouldn't believe the amount of emails I get with the dumbest stuff. And then I got to sift through and figure out which stuff that I want to share with y'all on the morning show in order to keep y'all informed so that y'all don't get caught up in the crossfire. Idiots. And last but not least, Jesus Christ. A guy is basically throwing gasoline on New York subway riders and catching them on fire. A guy's basically lighting people on fire at the New York subway, like a movie. Take a look, man.
A man is facing charges tonight accused of setting a subway rider on fire, causing significant burns to the victim's body. And police tell us the same suspect was behind a similar attack. CBS 2's Naveen Dhaliwal has that story from Lower Manhattan.
It happened here on Saturday afternoon at the Houston Street Station platform on the 1 train line. Officers were called here on this holiday weekend for an assault in progress to find 23-year-old Petrit Aliyai with his shirt off and burns. Investigators say a homeless man, now identified as Niall Taylor, threw a flammable liquid on the victim for no reason and took off.
It's horrifying.
Some subway riders like Chloe Leone are on guard when underground.
Hopefully people are traveling in pairs so that they can stay safe. I'm praying for the person who was burned. It's very tragic.
Now, this isn't the first time Taylor has done this. Detectives say back in February, he threw a lit container of flammable liquid at a group of people standing on the southbound 1 train platform at the West 28th Street station. No one was hurt.
This crazy stuff happens every day. Like, that's awful. I take this train a lot.
For his recent alleged crime, 49-year-old Taylor was caught near the Holland Tunnel and now is facing charges, including attempted assault, reckless endangerment, and arson. And for commuters who have no choice but to use the subways,
you just have to be alert and keep your eyes open.
We're in New York.
Drew the Regular says, it's funny, Anton never wants to address the real situation that helped, and I said helped, get black people to where they are today because he's a character guy. Well, you're in luck today because I decided that occasionally I don't mind you coming on up and telling me exactly what it is that I'm missing. So come on up to the Price is Right. You feel free to let me know exactly what helped get black people in this situation in the first place. Because I didn't know that crime was a black issue. I thought that that was a character issue. So just for Drew the Regular. Every once in a while, it's Memorial Day. I'm feeling generous. There you go. So for Drew the Regular, feel free to come up here and let me know and address the real situation because obviously I'm missing it. Obviously, I'm not aware of what's happening out in these streets. So feel free to come on up to the Price is Right and let me know. You got like 10 minutes and then we're going to go from there. All right. So ladies and gentlemen, that is your quick hits. Let me read a couple of the super chats and then we're going to continue over with the show. Let's see. Pookie's friend Ray Ray is in the building, says, we're expecting the barbecues to get shot up today. That's why we cooked out Saturday. Shout out to Chicago. Y'all be safe. Y'all be safe in these streets. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Pookie's friend Ray Ray. I appreciate you, big dog. Christian Hutchinson says, obviously her father just got off work at CTA and was picking up his daughter from his parents' house so they can make Sunday morning service at 9 a.m. Shout out to my dog, Chris Hutchinson. Jason Statham says, clear example of the failing judicial system, shaking my head. Well, Jason, apparently Druda, whatever his name was, wants to help us to understand that it's not necessarily that. It's not the judicial system. It's not any of that. It's some other underlying systemic problem. Drew, I don't see you in the back, so that's only for Drew. It's some other systemic problem that we're not aware of that Drew the Regular is planning on letting us know about. And so occasionally, Anton ducks no smoke. And, I know that also people have a difference of opinion. So as a result, I always drop the link in the chat for those that just has no picture. They just a letter, an avatar. They put a name up and they have a lot of conversations, but they never really want to help me to understand it. So I'm always open to the possibility that I'm wrong. And I appreciate you guys for continuing to hold me down. Thank you to Tiege Hanley. 40% off your first order plus 20% off for life and a free gift. And then on top of that, make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. If you don't want to be a part of a statistic or, going in that particular direction. All right. So while we wait on the gentleman, and I did put the timer on in order for him to be able to come up and help me to explain and let me know exactly what's going on out in these streets and addressing the real issues. Let's continue on with the show, ladies and gentlemen. So without further ado, did you guys know, because again, crime is not just a black issue. Crime is not a white issue. It's not a Mexican issue. It's a issue in our culture, especially when we create the environment that is conducive for crime to continue to perpetuate. And this actor, his name is Johnny Wactor. He's considered a long time and a very, very good man, but he's also a daytime soap opera actor. And apparently he was killed while they were stealing his catalytic converter from his car in LA in the daytime. And so while we wait for Drew again, I definitely want to keep you guys up to date on what's going on in these streets. And without further ado, we're going to go ahead and break this down. Shout out to him now.
Now at 6, breaking news. Former General Hospital actor Johnny Wactor shot and killed by catalytic converter thieves in downtown LA. Good evening, everyone. I'm Leslie Meddy.
And I'm Gio Insignares. Wactor was shot after police say he tried to stop the thieves on Hope Street and Pico Boulevard.
KCAL News reporter Nicole Comstock is live with the very latest. Nicole.
Well, the LAPD is not yet confirming his identity, but the actor's longtime agent David Shaw is saying not only was Wactor completely committed to his craft, but he set a real moral example to everyone he knew. So that's why he'll be leaving a hole behind in so many people's hearts forever.
When we were together, Sasha, I wasn't thinking about anything other than just you and me.
The brother of beloved soap opera star Johnny Wactor.
Y'all remember when Grandma and Mama and all of them back in the day? I don't know how old y'all are, but back in the day, before we had all of these streaming services and stuff, and back in the 90s, they used to have soap operas. And actually, I had a really, really, really good friend wind up becoming a regular on a soap opera, and then he wound up going over into, what's that one where, like Olivia Pope and whatever, he wound up being a regular on that, you know, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And so his acting career was pretty dope. But I remember, you know, General Hospital and the Days of Our Lives and all of that stuff. I remember the soaps, and the soaps were basically what we see today. It's the same thing that Country Wayne is doing, but a whole nother version of it. But soap operas used to be a big thing in the daytime. I remember it, at least. I didn't even know that they were still on.
Tells us the 37-year-old was shot to death in downtown LA early Saturday morning, killed while trying to stop a catalytic converter theft in progress.
He, I guess, was seeing them do it in the act and was standing up for what he believed was right and, you know, protecting his vehicle and his car. And
so let me get this straight, because we actually talked about a version of this in Chicago, right? Early last week, a man was basically shot when he surprisingly came outside and seen some other guys that was stealing his catalytic converter from the bottom of his car, right? And so I was like, man, that's crazy. You know what I'm saying? This only happens in certain environments, and Chicago was out here bad, down bad. And so downtown LA is no better. It's absolutely no better. What do you do, regardless if you're famous or not, what do you do when you come outside and you see somebody actually breaking into your car, stealing your stuff, taking your catalytic converter, breaking into your crib? Because it seems like the culture that we've created today is saying, hey, run away. Don't confront them. If you wind up shooting at him, then you actually complicit and you're going to go to jail as a result of it. And so he confronts him and he said, hey, guys, don't steal my catalytic converter. That's my car. I'm not even trying to be a good Samaritan. I'm just trying to get home. And then he has to lose his life because of it. And these liberal cities have become such dumps, literal dumps, that they can't even park downtown, come outside, see somebody is stealing from them, and then the person that's stealing wind up shooting you at the same time.
he was being brave, and you never anticipate someone would kill someone for that.
Tessa Farrell says Wactor was her friend and former fiance, that he moved to LA from South Carolina to follow his dreams and accomplish them. as a main character named Brando Corbin on General Hospital, where he filmed 164 episodes between 2020 and 2022. The LAPD says investigators are still searching for 3 male suspects in connection with the fatal shooting. And right now, they're not releasing a description of them or how they got away. But Tessa says Wactor's co-workers at a downtown LA bar were witnesses to the attack. She says she hopes this killing shines a light on violent crime occurring in LA.
So I will actually always think of him as this spirit that loved to celebrate life and be alive and push the limits of experience and he was an amazing actor. He was really funny.
Shaw says Wactor was survived by his mother and 2 brothers. If you have any information about the shooting, you can contact the LAPD and report it anonymously.
Now, listen, now you know no snitching is in effect, that we don't believe in telling on people. I'm sorry, where is Drew at? I don't see him in the back. I'll give him a little bit. I'll give him to the end of this particular segment for Drew to not slide out the back door, for him to get just as active in real life on the live stream as he was inside of the chat, because chat lives matters also. Let's get another angle of this whole situation and see what's going on.
Thanks, Holly. Police are searching for the suspects involved in the murder of General Hospital actor Johnny Wactor.
He was shot and killed leaving work in downtown LA while trying to stop a catalytic converter theft. We did speak with his mother over the weekend. NBC4's Lauren Coronado is live in downtown LA with more of that interview and also the latest details on the investigation. Lauren.
Lynette, John, good morning. I just got off the phone with the LAPD, who tell me, unfortunately, no arrests have been made. The search continues for the person responsible. And the shooting, the deadly shooting, it happened right here near the corner of Pico and Hope, not far.
Looked like a sketchy area to me. Y'all not going to sit here and convince me that all of these major cities is just awesome and everybody want to move to downtown LA and all of that. Man, miss me with that nonsense. Look like trash to me.
From Crypto.com Arena, according to the LAPD, 3 men appeared to have been trying to steal a catalytic converter when the owner of
3 men are stealing a catalytic converter in downtown LA. That's crazy, bro.
the car, who family has identified as 37-year-old Johnny Wactor, unintentionally stopped them. Our team spoke with his mother, Scarlett Wactor, over the phone, who tells us her son had just wrapped up a bartending shift not far from LA Live when he was walking with a coworker and noticed people surrounding his.
Wait. So he was tapped out. So, all right, well, this is another wrinkle in it that we wasn't expecting, and this has nothing to do with the crime itself, because we definitely want to say rest in peace, and there's no reason in the world why this man should have his life taken after they tried to steal something from his car. But he was a bartender. This is what this is saying. Let me rewind that just to make sure that we got it right.
Over the phone, who tells us her son had just wrapped up a bartending shift not far from LA Live when he was walking with a coworker and noticed people surrounding his car. Scarlett says she believes.
So, I'm not work shaming this man, because I actually stand for that. I think that we're all just regular people. And whether you acting out here on General Hospital shooting 160 episodes and you're trying to continue to further your career, or you just a regular guy that's a bartender, he just so happened to be both. So if you want to see any of your favorite bartenders or your favorite actors, you can probably go over to LA, and if you're in a local bar, you can say, I remember you on General Hospital. But this is a regular, everyday guy. He's a regular, everyday guy. Finished his bartending shift, probably gonna go to an audition over the weekend, seeing them steal his catalytic converter off the bottom of his car. Said, hey guys, hey, don't steal the catalytic converter from my car. Pow, pow, pow. And that's the end of him. That's the end of him. Dude was on a hustle. He was on a grind. He was feeding himself. He was taking care of business. He was making sure that he had enough money in order to pay the bills. I'm not tripping off that. I actually love that. I support that. I support the fact that he not letting no bags go, and no matter what he doing, he making sure that he leverages time effectively. Had just finished working, and look, it's nothing more disheartening than a working man getting his stuff stolen and then killed as a result of noticing you stealing his stuff. That's crazy to me.
Johnny thought the car was getting towed. When he approached, one of the men shot and killed Wactor, then took off.
I actually could understand if Johnny was going at him, trying to stop him, and there was a tussle. I don't understand what a senseless coward act. They really took somebody that was very loved and cherished, and we're going to miss him a lot.
A familiar face and loved by many, Wactor started his acting career here in LA about 17 years ago. He may be best known for his role as Brando Corbin on General Hospital from 2020 to 2022. He would have turned 38 in August. It's still not clear who the person behind the shooting is. In fact, there is no description for the people involved. We are talking with the LAPD, working to gather more information, and we'll bring you another live update at 6:55.
I'm still waiting on Drew, so we're going to hold on for a little bit longer.
Heartbreak across the soap opera world tonight after former General Hospital star Johnny Wactor was shot and killed. Wactor came upon a group of thieves stealing his catalytic converter. One of them pulled out a gun and opened fire.
Somebody said, I don't understand why he wasn't armed in 2024 as an American war zone, in an American war zone. Well, I'm not sure if he thought that him thinking that a tow truck was actually trying to mistakenly tow his car. And so he was like, hey, like, no, look. Nobody is expecting to be getting shot as a result of thinking that your car is getting towed, and there's really three people that's stealing your catalytic converter, and they just, in a panic, don't think about your life, and they just go to take your life. Like, nobody wake up in the morning and say, I might die today. Like, that's not what happens. I absolutely hated that I had to go and get a pistol when I went and got my first pistol as a result of opening up and having to be there on a regular basis as far as seeing what's going on at the restaurant. I hated it. I hated the fact that I had to participate in this stupid, dumb society. Shout out to Matt Washington. Definitely going to be reading that super chat shortly. It's unfortunate because now his mother and his siblings, and he obviously was a responsible adult and he wasn't doing anything against the law. And that's messed up. It's absolutely messed up. So neither here nor there. Rest in peace, big dog. We hope that hope that your family finds some kind of solace in what's going on, because it's bad out here in these streets. Let me read this super chat really quickly, and then I'm going to go ahead and close that back off. I had dropped the link in the chat for you to be able to say what you wanted to say, but apparently you didn't want to come up. Matt Washington says, crazy thing is, if he had a gun and hurt them, he would be going to jail because of California's strict gun laws. It's a lose-lose situation. He woke up that morning and the criminals and the devil just said, it's your turn, big dog. It's a lose-lose situation. Thank you, Matt Washington. I appreciate you, big dog, for supporting the platform. It's Memorial Day, and I didn't even expect this many people to tap in. Wow, it's a lot of people in here for it to be Memorial Day, and y'all ain't even at work. Y'all ain't even at work today. Shout out to the chat out here in these streets. Shout out to Drew that decided that he didn't really want to come up. What up, D? What up to everybody in the chat? Let's continue on with the show, ladies and gentlemen. Next, let's really talk about America. Before we get into the money and athletes going broke, because I know that Antonio Brown recently filed for bankruptcy. I got some details with regard to that. We got a clip from Josh Powell, who's a former NBA champion, and he's telling how he lost the majority of his wages. We got people that saying that they quit their jobs. We got Americans, missionaries that was killed in Haiti, and so we're going to go over that. And so we got a lot to cover. But before we get to that, because we are in Memorial Day weekend, it's very important for us to really understand exactly what we're up against. America's ghetto. Very ghetto. I mean, there are parts of the world that, for whatever reason, doesn't get highlighted as awesome as it is. But in a lot of these places and a lot of these areas in the country, America is a ghetto. Absolutely 100%. Some of y'all are saying that y'all got the paid day off. So do I. You forgot that I get those bags too. Yeah, but America is a ghetto. How ghetto? Let me show you just how ghetto America is. For example, over in Philadelphia, they had 3 homicides in less than 45 minutes.
We're going to begin this morning with a little bit of breaking news. The long holiday weekend has been marred by an outburst of violence in Philadelphia. Police responded to 3 deadly shootings in less than an hour last night. Action News reporter Catherine Scott is live at police headquarters with what we know so far. You always enjoy hearing people being with family and having a good time. This is not what we want to hear, Catherine.
No, it's certainly not. There were 3 separate homicides in the city last night within about a 45-minute period. Detectives here at the Homicide Division continue to investigate the motive in all of these cases. Let's start with video from Feltonville. This happened shortly before 10:30 p.m. Gunshots on Rohrer Street by Rockland. Police believe several shooters began firing at a crowd that had gathered up the street. It appears that the group at the top of the block returned fire. Arriving officers found one man shot multiple times in his head. He was pronounced dead at the hospital. Investigators examined 2 groupings of spent shell casings, more than 20 rifle and handgun rounds, and another grouping of around a dozen at the top of the block. 30 minutes later, another fatal shooting, this time in Strawberry Mansion. Shortly before 11 p.m., officers were called to the corner of Cumberland and Stanley. A 23-year-old man had been shot and taken by private vehicle to the hospital where he was pronounced dead. Investigators recovered more than 20 spent shell casings. Angela Booker from Philadelphia Ceasefire was out last night posting signs around the area working to stop the violence.
I was just watching the basketball game and I heard a barrage of shots. I come down here to see what can I do to help. If I could do some outreach, if I could interrupt if something took place, whatever was necessary. After the gun violence and somebody see this, they may be willing to call us to talk in case they were a victim themselves.
Listen, sir, let me help you to understand something. In the most humble way possible, I want to have this one-to-one with you. Mr. Philadelphia Ceasefire, Stop Shooting People signs with the Martin Luther King I Had a Dream man that's on the front of it. I want to help you to understand something because we know that the Dusty Dusties, that's not a part of the Bag Chasers. If you're not a part of the Patreon, link is in the description. We know that the Dusty Dusties are going to say, it's the system's fault. Mr. Stop Shooting People sign. Let me tell you something, sir. You are a good person. Unfortunately for you, they don't read signs when they throwing out them bullets. Bullets ain't got no names. They don't care who they hit. It could be 5-year-old girls over there in Chicago, or it could be grown men over in Philadelphia, and 3 homicides in less than 45 minutes in different locations from different people. Listen, when it get warm outside, homicides go up. We already know that the police is going to be getting overtime because they're going to be going out there and putting the little dots by the shell casings. They are not going to your sign, and they are not reading your sign, and they are not going to say, you know what? I think I'm not going to shoot nobody today. Man, they already on their way. They loaded up. They got their switches, and they getting it in. Shout out to Chris Hutchinson. They getting it in. It's over. It's over. America is ghetto. Get low. Get all the way low. Get low. Get low. Get low. Get low. Woo! 369. Get low. Get low. From the window to the wall, to the sweat drip down my, all these, they get low. It's get low out here. It ain't ghetto, it's get low. Check this out. Even look, on a completely different side of the country. Y'all was over there doing y'all thing in Philadelphia, taking lives. Over in Los Angeles County, they was over there robbing 7-Elevens en masse. Listen, it ain't even just a singular crime anymore. They're robbing the 7-Elevens en masse.
A new string of robberies at 7-Eleven stores overnight, and investigators believe at least 5 of them may be connected. This happened in Long Beach, Lakewood, and Bellflower.
The cash.
Hold on. We them boys. Who is baby girl? I mean, I know that we always listen. If y'all don't want me to get distracted, then y'all better start putting some Ooga Boogers, some grizzly bears up on that screen reporting the news, because I don't even notice the grizzly bears. We just gonna keep on reporting. Who is baby girl with her real hair, no butterfly eyelashes, and got her eyebrows arched? You know what I'm saying? Slim waist, pretty face in the building. Who is this anchor in Los Angeles on the right-hand side of my screen over here reporting the news with no wedding ring on her finger? You know what I'm saying? Los Angeles. Y'all done came up into the competition. I said, hold on, Miami. Hold on, New York. Hold on, Broward County. We here. We here. Let's focus. String of robberies. 7-Eleven, Los Angeles. Go.
Registers all taken. Eyewitness in Lakewood with the latest details. Tim?
Yeah, and the good news here is no one was injured in these robberies, clerks or customers who may have been in the store at the time. The tough news is stores like this that are open 24 hours a day are particularly susceptible to crime in those overnight hours when these parking lots are empty, the stores are empty, and that's exactly what happened at the store here behind me just about 4 a.m. when a group of robbers came in here and stole those cash registers, one of 5 7-Eleven stores in the Lakewood, Bellflower, and Long Beach area to be robbed overnight, and the Sheriff's Department believes they are all related. A string of overnight robberies in the Long Beach area overnight where cash registers were taken from these stores. The first one happened around 9:30 in Long Beach, and then the next 4 robberies in the Lakewood and Bellflower areas all taking place between 3 and 4 a.m. None of the clerks were...
Hey, walking up to the sign as a civilian, as a shopper, because usually you see the sign like power is out or something like that, generator is going. Hey, walking up to the sign and it say temporarily closed due to robbery is insane. It's crazy.
Attack, but the group of robbers simply grabbed those cash registers and ran off. All the convenience stores robbed last night are within about 15 minutes of each other. The final 4 7-Eleven robberies happened in the matter of a single hour, and it appears the group of robbers went from one store directly to the next. The owner of one of the stores, the one robbed just before 4 a.m., says it was 5 total people who carried out this crime. Listen to him explain how coordinated and how quick this robbery was.
Shout out to Lori Jeter. I'm going to be reading that super chat shortly.
3 people walked in. 1 was female, 2 males.
Did he say 3 black people or 3 people? Let me see that.
3 people walked in.
3 people.
1 was female, 2 males, and 1 hold the door. 1 was in the car was backed over there. And the first guy walked in, took that cash register. The second guy walked in, took this cash register. And the lady looked at here, maybe there's cash register here. They were gone in, I would say, in a few seconds.
Scary moments and all for what? The store owner here says the robbers, at least with this robbery, didn't get away with much. One of the registers was empty, and the other one, he said, had less than $100 in it. No one was hurt in any of these robberies, as I mentioned, many if not.
Hey, imagine this. Imagine this, y'all. Imagine going in as a 5-person crew, right? This is not the movie Heat, right? This is not Al Pacino trying to chase these guys down. These are very much criminals that are trying to graduate to the next level. Now imagine 5 people going in for a 7-Eleven robbery. Now, if you get caught, you get identified on camera, you getting years, man. You getting football numbers. It's a possibility that you go into jail for 10 or more. I don't know. Over in liberal California, you might get away with it, and that's one of the reasons why they feel compelled to be able to do it. But imagine 5 of y'all. 2 at the door, 2 at the register, 1 for the gas register, 1 for the getaway car. And y'all get $100. Y'all got to, listen, first y'all got to put gas in a car that you stole in order to do this in the first place. Y'all get $100. And it costs you more. It costs the owner more in the registers that was stolen than the amount of money that was taken. Because they do drops on a regular basis. And so y'all get $100. Y'all got to split $100 between 5 people. That's $20 a person. Like, when I was coming up, listen, I know that I was raised in an environment that was like, hey, listen, guys, you don't do crime. We don't do this, whatever. It's not worth it, whatever, right? But the one thing that I also, on my own, I didn't even need the church. I didn't need a father in my life, which I did have my father in my life, and he was a phenomenal father. I didn't need any of this to realize this. When I did the math, when I did crime math, I call it crime math. For everybody that's watching this show, for you future people that's looking to go to jail, let me hopefully put something else in your head that'll help you to not do crime, and I call it crime math. Crime math is, what are you risking for the reward? So if you go to the casino and I say, okay, listen, I got to put $1,000 on red And if it hit red, then I make $1,000. But if it don't, I lose $1,000. But guess what? I don't go to jail. That's called the risk versus reward. And then you look at the percentages. Well, it's like a 48%, 49% chance, 47.8% chance that you hit red or you hit black. And it depends on if it's a double zero or a single zero, right? And it's the same thing with crime math, except for you got to do it a little bit differently. You say, okay, listen, if we go in there and we get $100 and we got to split it and we get $20 a piece, is it even worth the effort as a person that is not going to jail? But then you factor in the fact that you may go to jail and that one of the people that if they get caught and they spend their $20 too fast, that they're going to snitch on you. The risk is just not worth the reward. When I looked at dope dealers and stuff like that, and I was like, and I was doing the math, and my man was trying to hit me up and say, yo, man, I got that gas for the low and all of that. And I was like, and I was looking at the raid van, and they was coming down the street and this and that, and I had seen this, and I seen the crackheads and stuff, and I started doing the crime math. And I wasn't even doing the math to try to understand, hey, man, how are you affecting the community? I was doing the crime math to understand how is this profitable for me? And I started breaking it down. I was like, man, y'all got to sit in the cold. Shout out to D. Will. I'm definitely going to be reading that super chat shortly. I said, y'all got to sit in the cold, rain, sleet, or snow. You got to put your stash over here while collecting the money, hoping that they're not going to rob you. And if the police are setting you up, they going to watch to see where you go to get your stash because you can't have it on you when they, you know what I'm saying, when they doing the exchange. So it ain't a 1-for-1. You got to take it, and then you got to go and get to the stash, or you got to have your homeboy do the stash. And then if he snitch on you, if he get caught, because you got to have bail money and you got to have lawyer money, and then you start doing the math of how many hours you sitting out there and it's cold outside, and y'all not really making no money, you know what I'm saying? And if you get it on consignment, they want their money. But if you put your own money up, that means you got to move it. Otherwise, you don't eat. And, I was doing the crime math, and I was like, and I got to possibly go to jail for this? And if somebody do something, I got to go do something back if they don't kill me in order to help people to understand that you can't steal from me. And so I got to make an example. Man, the crime math didn't add up. I said, bro, I can go and get a job at McDonald's right up the street and not have to worry about going to jail, dying, or poisoning my community and disappointing my family and getting that felony on my record, and I wouldn't even be able to get a job later on in life. The crime math just didn't math. The math wasn't mathing to me. And so at a very basic level, even if you remove the morals and the character and all of that stuff, I'm like, what is wrong with y'all? Y'all making less than minimum wage, and y'all dodging a man, and y'all dirty. Y'all dumb. That's the dumbest thing in the world. Anyways, but that's not the only thing that was happening out in these streets. You got to understand, it's bad out here. Check it out.
To a story you'll see only on 5. Devastating and frustrating news for some people in Chinatown today as they woke to find their cars had.
Is that a new baddie? I like girls with moles on their face. And she got on that velvet.
Been set on fire.
And some of those cars were just charred beyond recognition. So now gone are the modes of transportation, but also much more for some of these people. Rachel Menitoff is live in Chinatown with reaction from one of the victims. Rachel?
Rick, Karine, people who live in this neighborhood were jolted awake around 5 this morning, and when they came outside, they found their block was on fire. LAPD hasn't been able to give us too much information, but they do say this is an arson investigation, and that's evident from the incredible damage and destruction that you see here. These cars are charred, unrecognizable, and you can even still smell the smoke from those large flames. We spoke to one woman, Cecilia Martinez. Her car was one of these that had been destroyed, a quite disheartening experience, as you can imagine. Listen to what she told us.
Now it's just going to be the hassle of having to deal with all the insurance, and I don't have a car right now, there's, insurance can pay it, but what happened to all of the memories that we had in that car? I don't know. It was our family car. Yeah.
As if you got insurance. Look at these people setting cars on fire.
And we have some video taken by someone who lives on this street showing the cars ablaze. This is in the 700 block of Bunker Hill. Residents say they believe someone from a nearby homeless encampment is to blame and tell us it's not uncommon to see random fires in and around the neighborhood.
But here's the key. First of all, they don't want to acknowledge that it's a lot of migrants that's out there, and those illegal migrants. That's number one. But number two, what makes this so bad in the string of cars that was torched over in Chinatown is that we know that in LA and in a lot of these new cities that a lot of people are basically living in their cars. There's a lot of people, especially over on the West Coast, that are living in their cars. So then you go out here and you commit these crimes and you basically commit murder. You're taking a chance on committing murder because it's a strong possibility that the cars that you set on fire may have somebody in it sleeping overnight, maybe with their children, who knows? It's a dangerous, dangerous world and a dangerous game to play. So be careful out here is what I'm saying. Don't find yourself in a situation where you are subjected to, or you try to prevent yourself from being subjected to anything that's happening in these streets. But America is very, very, very deadly. And it seems like during the holidays is when they decide that they really want to turn it up. They really want to turn it on, all right? So let me read a few of the super chats and then we're going to continue on with the show. Shout out to Christian Hutchinson. Christian Hutchinson says, I'm sure Dr. Umar Johnson, peace and Pan-Africanism, peace and Pan-Africanism. This is King Kong Consciousness. Going to have something to say. He from Philly. No, he ain't. If it ain't pandering to women, he don't want nothing to do with it. Lori Jeter in the building says, I lost 2 nieces in a double homicide who were sisters in 2022 before Christmas and a nephew in 2023, Independence Day. These criminals are soulless. You can see it in their eyes. You literally can see it in their eyes. And my condolences to you. Let me give a round of applause to my dog, D. Will in the building. Says this is for being the best content creator who shows the receipts, practices what he preaches, and did it the right way. Keep up the good work. I appreciate you, D. Will. Let me get another round of applause because you didn't have to do it. And then he came back another one with the 20 ball and says, for all that work that dealers do, they may as well join the Army. Just as much work in the Army, same pay when you break it down, but the lifetime benefits and no jail. Shout out to the Veteran 100 Club. Shout out to my dog, D. Will. I appreciate you, D. Will. D. Will is out here bag chasing. Shout out to my chasers. Are y'all not a part of the Patreon yet? The link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. We running it up. We just had Stock Club and we got the meetup coming up soon. Yeah. Shout out to my dog, D. Will in the building. Hey, D. Will, I want to talk about something really quickly. It's not just over here in the United States of America where everything is going bad, D. Will. It's not, big dog. You know where else is going bad? Haiti. You know what I've been talking about over here? Haiti. And why have I been talking about Haiti? Because Haiti is a lawless place. I wonder if it's the system that failed them. But anyways, over in Haiti, a man and his wife who dedicated themselves as missionaries towards educating, helping, providing for, and being a beacon of hope and a beacon of light over in this nation, this lawless, godless town, right? This godless country, this godless place, went over to Haiti and they said, you know what? We're going to dedicate our life's work after my father. He said his father had dedicated his life's work. And even when all of the gangs and the lawlessness was going on, you know what they said? They said, we're going to still stay here. Why? Because they had a whole bunch of Haitian children that they were responsible for, that they were helping and they were educating. Now, I know a lot of y'all going to look at this and you're going to say, Anton, but he's a white man, H-W-Y-T-E. He's a white man, and so we shouldn't care, even when they care more for you than the people over there care for themselves. Huh? Because see, again, I want to deal with the reality. Some people tell me on a regular basis, and they always aligning themselves based off of color, and they don't believe that I should align myself based off of character. They don't believe that I should talk about this because this doesn't necessarily align with the agenda of what goes on in the black community, regardless of where you at in the United States of America or where you at in the world. The only thing that matters is if we stay on code. On code.
First, we are following some breaking news out of Haiti. Police say gang members killed 3 missionaries, and 2 of them were Americans. Missouri State Representative Ben Baker posted on his Facebook account last night, saying his daughter and son-in-law were attacked by gangs in the island nation. They were working there full-time under the organization Missions in Haiti. That group has also confirmed the death of their Haitian director, 20-year-old Jude Montes. Haiti has been plagued with deadly gang violence and civil unrest since February. Vanya Andre joins us now. She is the chairperson of the Haitian Times. So, Vanya, what more do we know about what happened?
The details are still coming out. We have our team in Haiti, folks in Port-au-Prince and Cap-Haïtien that are monitoring the situation. However, the only thing that we know is that this was indeed something from the gang attacks. And really, it is apparent that despite the airport opening again after being closed for months, despite talks of a deployment coming to the country, that the violence is really insurmountable and it's really at a headway where intervention really is needed to.
I just want to pause this for a minute because for all of y'all, as much as this place is being trashed and it's being overran by people that's not even from this country, and we got people that are born in the country that don't care, like over in Chicago and Los Angeles and things like that, and they feel compelled to be able to take people's lives and it don't really matter. I want y'all to also appreciate where you are and the fact that we do need to support our police. We do need to make sure that we educate ourselves. We do need to participate in our own successes inside of the United States of America and hold our legislator as well as the people that's in your community responsible, because it could be worse. We could be over there in Haiti. We could be over there in Haiti. It could be 10 times worse. They don't care. They throw their doo-doo out on the street. They burn people up after they shoot them. They do some of the worst heinous crimes. And if you got a wife, oh my God, you could forget it. They said, we don't even care if she act like a wife. We got first world problems over there. They got fifth world problems over there, big dog. It's a crazy place.
Prevent and quell this type of violence.
A State Department spokesman says it stands ready to provide consular assistance. What does that mean?
I think a lot of it, when we think about what the U.S. and consular support is going to look like, it's going to be very different in the times that we've seen in the past. Joe Biden, the president, he had a press conference yesterday basically saying that Kenya will be leading and will be the face of this mission in any type of intervention in the country. However, the U.S. stands to support with operations and logistics and monetary assistance. So what that actually looks like in practice on the ground is yet to be seen, but we do know that a deployment is imminent.
Yeah, so let's talk about that. Kenya announcing a security force to Haiti to try and help quell the violence. What impact do you think that could have?
To be honest, we're not sure yet. What we do know is that this is the first time in years that we've had a mission that has been led by a country from the African continent, a mission led from a group of organizations outside of the core group. And really, this will stand to be a true case study to see if the U.S. really listening to the Haitian diaspora when they say that they want a non-U.S. led intervention, whether or not this will actually help and move the needle on the violence and the instability in the country.
Cool. I'm with it. Listen, you want a non-U.S. led intervention, then cool. I'm all with it. Don't beg for help. Listen, I want to double back and just read or hear what she said to make sure I heard it before I'm hearing it, before I communicate about it, and I give my thoughts on it. I just want to hear it one more time, just for the sake of conversation. Give me a second.
The U.S. really listening to the Haitian diaspora when they say that they want a non-U.S. led intervention.
I know I heard what I thought I heard, but I had to double back. And it says where 2 or 3 are gathered in his name, there he is in the midst of me. Listen, we are all praying for the people over there in Haiti, but I didn't know that beggars could be choosy. Azriel says, I get why they don't want American ideals sneaking in to be pushed. Did y'all see what was happening over in Haiti? Any ideal got to be better than what's going on over there right now. I mean, literally, any ideal has to be better than what the heck is going on right now. I mean, y'all can't even breathe. They don't even pick up their bodies no more. They literally are putting sheets over the people. I didn't know that people that didn't have nothing can start to put requirements on people that are giving them stuff. Is that a black thing, or is that a people thing? Is that a country thing? Is that a culture thing? I'm confused. I'm confused. How can people put demands on help? Put requirements and standards on help? I must have missed that part. I must have missed the part where they got dictators that look like them is over there massacring their own people.
Whether or not this will actually help and move the needle on the violence and the instability in the country. Despite that being said, you will still hear a lot of opposition from folks in the diaspora and folks on the ground in Haiti about what that looks like.
Reading the super chat shortly.
Being a Kenya face to this mission, there are still some apprehensions about the role of the U.S. in this, and it brings back a lot of negative feelings based on the history that the country has had in Haiti.
What are your thoughts on what needs to be done to bring stability back to the region? And also, I mean, the airport just reopened this week. We know people desperately still.
Somebody saying, Anton, you love talking about Haiti, a place you don't know nothing about. I'm not talking about Haiti. I'm literally talking about the American missionaries that were killed in Haiti. More importantly, listen, if you from Haiti, then go and save your own piece of shit country. See, listen, we know the daycares ain't open on Memorial Day, so we just going to go ahead and have an unfiltered millionaire morning show, because very rarely do I get an opportunity to say what I'm really thinking, because I have to filter myself, because I got to make sure that the daycares ain't tripping out, that the teachers that got me on the big screen over in their schools, they ain't tripping out. Nigga, man, save your punk-ass country on your own end. I don't think we should give you a dime with your ungrateful ass. Got the nerve to be sitting there talking about what we do know, and what we do know that y'all over there getting y'all ass kicked by yourselves. We do know y'all keep trying to sneak out the country over into y'all border country that the Dominican Republic said that they don't want y'all. We do not know that Wyclef is still over here in the United States of America singing, talking about, ooh la la la. Prize is over there locked up because he an FBI informant. Lauryn Hill won't even show up to the shows. Nobody give a fuck about your punk ass country. Fuck Haiti. And everybody over there that ain't doing what they supposed to do, y'all deserve each other. Fix your own country. Sucker ass country.
Need to get aid. Some people want to leave. Is this a step backward?
I would say this is a step backward, but this is a step backward that's been happening, honestly, for about 2 years. This is just now that it's really bubbling up to mainstream and Western press, but we've had iterations of this since 2018, where folks have for months not been able to leave their homes. Everyday life has been interrupted, where folks aren't able to send their kids to school, go to work, go to the bank. So this is really just the latest cycle of something that's been happening for the past several years. And then you ask, what can be helped? What will be a solution to this? Part of it is, on one side, is understanding that, yes, the capital and by extension, the rest of the country has been paralyzed because of these gangs, but also understanding that these gangs are made up of individual young men who are at a point of despair and frustration, and they feel like this is the only step forward.
Y'all say Kodak Black about to put Anton on the cool. Didn't Kodak Black get pardoned by President Trump? I'm sorry. Let me say that one more time. Didn't Kodak Black get pardoned by President Trump? No? Yes? No? I might be off. Maybe it was somebody else. I know Weezy F Baby did. Didn't Kodak Black get pardoned?
Gang violence has exploded in Haiti. On Thursday, 3 missionaries from an Oklahoma-based group were shot and killed. The organization Missions in Haiti said that they had been taking shelter in a house when gang members began shooting at the residence near the capital of Port-au-Prince. 2 Americans and the group's director died. Missouri State Representative Ben Baker says his daughter and son-in-law were among those killed. CBS News national correspondent Manuel Bojorquez joins us now. So, Manny, the situation in Haiti is tragic. The United Nations reports more than 2,500 have been killed or injured by recent gang violence. Tell us what's the latest on the situation.
Yeah, unfortunately, terrible news coming out of Haiti today of an incident that happened yesterday. As you reported, 2 American missionaries, young, in their 20s, married just 2 years, David Lloyd and Natalie Lloyd, were killed. They worked for Missions in Haiti, which is a group that runs several facilities in Port-au-Prince, including schools and churches. According to the group, a Facebook post they had up yesterday, the couple and that local director of the orphanage there were leaving a church building when they were attacked by a gang, armed gang members, who took them to a house. David Lloyd, who affectionately was known as Davy, according to the group, was tied and beaten. When another gang showed up at the same location, there was some sort of shootout, and in all of that, the 2 Americans and that local Haitian missionary were killed. All of this, of course, goes to highlight the dangerous situation.
Let me throw something else in there. So one gang, because I actually read up on this and I studied it, right? One gang came in, beat them, robbed them, took everything, tore everything up. The second gang came in and he was calling his father and he said, "Hey, father, hey, dad," because his dad was the one that actually started the orphanage over there in the missionary work. And so he was dedicating his life. He literally dedicated his life to helping Haitian people. He did not have to be there. He could have been right here in the United States of America. His father said, hey, come over here where it's safe in the United States. He said, "I can't abandon the people. I can't abandon these little kids, these little dark kids that's running around. I love them more than the very people that had them." And the second game came in. Not only did they shoot them, but they burnt their bodies up. And they burnt 2 guys. Ain't no telling what happened to the wife. Because it was the director, and then it was him, the missionary, and his wife. Apparently, she died also, but she got separated from him. I wonder what they did to her before they decided to set all of the bodies on fire over there. And y'all are godless people. When God looked down on Haiti, he said, "What is this mess? What is this mess? We're going to let the people figure it out for themselves since they got it together." Chicago, right now, south side of Chicago, is Haiti light. If it wasn't for our conservative dollars actually pouring into the police department and giving y'all overtime, if it wasn't for us continuing to overpay when it came to the amount of taxes that we continue to give over to social services, y'all would look just like Haiti over in some of these places. You ever been to Overtown? You ever been to the Red Zone in Detroit? You ever been over to certain parts over in Chicago? You ever walked down some of those streets down there in LA? I actually documented it. I did it over there. It's on my other channel. This is what happens when you continue to turn your back away from the thing that's best for you and then still got the nerve to make demands. I got a demand. Shut the fuck up. I don't think that they should have been over there in the first place. They should have let whoever it was that was supposed to be taking care of them children based off of the fact that they had the children go ahead and do it. And they would still have their life over here and they would be living good. Begging and choosy at the same time. Get out of here. Rest in peace to them. Unfortunately, they decided that they wanted to have a greater purpose in life, and this is where it got them. Good people die young, while the monsters continue to be monsters. Read some of these super chats. Sitting there talking to me like y'all deserve something. Get out of here. Ken J says, "Anton, if you knew the history of Haiti, you'd understand why. The U.S. is a part of the reason they are in this situation in the first place." Michael Merriweather in the building says, "Anton, the white man missionaries have been coming over to Haiti under the cross and take liberties with children and pillage the resources of that land." Okay, listen, every missionary, Every person that's looking to do something positive, or they coming under their false flag and under their missionary flag under the cross that's looking to do something, come on back home. Let them to themselves. We ain't got to worry about it. Cool. Come on. Come on back. If you got the resources, get on up out of there. I heard they opened up the airport. Port-au-Prince is over there suffering anyway. Don't worry about it. And I'm wondering why y'all don't go over there to help y'all people. How y'all going to be over in the Americas sitting here in the comfort of your air conditioning, celebrating Memorial Day by taking it off of work and sitting there having a conversation about what it is that you think should go on over there? Go do it. Go do it yourself. I'm always curious as to how these people are over here, but then over there watching there and say, oh my God, taking up American resources, spending American dollars and sending y'all money back home. But then sitting here and talk, man, get out of here with that, bro. Salamander says eventually Haiti will beg the U.S. for help, them asses, and I don't think we should answer. I want to know if y'all got any oil over there, any gold, where the diamonds at. We need some compensation in order to send American troops over there to fix y'all country. No more free freedom. Freedom ain't gonna be free no more. We charging to free people. I want to know what's going on and what we can get up out of that country from now on. Enough of this. D. Will is in the building. Non-U.S. interventions say less. We Americans and migrant Haitians don't want to go back. We will be over here comfortable watching y'all chop and cook each other, chopped and screwed. The real chopped and screwed. You know what I'm saying, D. Will? Freedom ain't free no more. Freedom ain't free no more. I want to know what you offering. 2 shekels and some goats? Nope. Free yourself. Free yourself. Free your mind. The rest will follow. Oh my gosh. Let's continue over with the show, ladies and gentlemen. What we got coming up? Oh, okay. All right. This is what I wanted to talk about. I wanted to address this. So I've been talking about this for a little while now. And there has been several white men that was over in Turks and Caicos getting arrested, right? And one of the things that they was arrested for was having bullets and ammunition, spare bullets and ammunition inside of their luggage. Now, Turks and Caicos said, listen, we giving out football numbers, 12 years minimum for anybody that we catch over here with random bullets and ammunition over here inside of the United States of America, or coming over to Turks and Caicos. We don't care where you're from. And if you're from the United States of America, you're going to be facing 12 years. There's been several white men that's been detained over there. Recently, one of them has been freed, and then also a black woman has been detained over there. So I want to keep you guys up to date on what's going on in these streets, man. Make sure you hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications.
An American who pleaded guilty to carrying ammunition in Turks and Caicos will not face prison time. A judge found there were exceptional circumstances to avoid the 12-year mandatory minimum sentence for Brian Hegridge. His prison sentence of 52 weeks was suspended. He'll have to pay a $6,700 fine. Hegridge was charged after hunting ammo was found in his checked luggage in February.
Wait. So you telling me that they basically fleecing Americans for money? They say, listen, you got to pay a $6,700 fine in order to be released, and we're going to be able to suspend your sentence from over there in Turks and Caicos. So Turks, y'all over there fleecing Americans for money, hoping to catch something on them? Are y'all even planting stuff inside of their luggage? You ain't got to worry about time, dog. You ain't never got to worry about time, dog. 7 foot in Turks and Caicos.
Hegridge was charged after hunting ammo was found in his checked luggage in February. He's one of 5 Americans charged with carrying ammunition in their luggage. All of them say they didn't realize they had bullets with them.
Oh, not a Sharita. Listen, I like Ritas. You got Rita over there, a smooth young lady. I love her. And then the Tylers. Listen, Tyler, Ryan, Brian, and Michael. All of those sound like good American names, wholesome names that at one point was probably riling up the cattle and making sure that they tame horses.
Possessing a gun or ammunition is illegal in the British territory. Let's bring in CBS News national correspondent Manuel Bojorquez. So Manuel, walk us through what happened in the courtroom today.
Yeah, this went down just about an hour ago that the judge decided to hand down that sentence of 12 months suspended and that $6,700 fine. But there was a lot of concern going into the hearing today.
No meetups in the Turks.
There was no guarantee that would happen, that those 5 Americans may actually have been sentenced to up to 12 years in prison, which is a mandatory sentence for anyone possessing ammunition or firearms on the islands of Turks and Caicos. So that was the big concern going into this. He very well could soon be on his way home. The question now is those 4 other Americans who say they were found with stray bullets in their bags and that was an accident, whether they will say go through essentially the same type of sentencing here. That is what many of them were hoping, even though
I'm trying to figure out, and what this does is this sets the precedence for the possibility of getting other Americans freed. Now, the American government is basically warning y'all, and they're saying, hey, listen, don't go over there, or if you go over there and you get caught up with some stuff, know that we can't get you back. So I need y'all to be aware of what's happening in all of these other countries. And all of these people allegedly are getting caught with some spare random ammunition inside of their luggage. And so now they get arrested, they can't go home, and they possibly facing 12 years. But one of the guys was recently released on a suspended sentence, and he had to pay $6,700 in order to be getting from over there.
it's a pretty steep fine. They were hoping to avoid jail time, and that seems to
Give
be
me that,
what will
whatever
happen,
fine
at least
you
for
want.
Brian Hagerich at this point.
Yeah, so given what we know about the circumstances involving the others, I mean, do we have a sense that what happened here in this case, this suspended sentence, maybe could be what
Give
happens
me
with the other
whatever
Americans
fine you
charged?
want.
You know, a lot of people will wonder that, and that may be because this will set some sort of precedent for the others that indeed that is what happens. But again, there's no guarantee. There have been a lot of talking back and forth between the United States and Turks and Caicos, and they essentially said, look, we have to let our legal process play out, and the judge does have discretion. That's what happened, at least in this one case.
Yeah, you can imagine, though, those other Americans maybe breathing a sigh of relief today, just seeing what happened in this first case. You know, you mentioned Turks and Caicos officials saying, let's let our own judicial system play out.
How do they get this stuff past our own TSA when they traveling over to Turks and Caicos in the first place? Anyway, so the black woman apparently was speaking out. Now we starting to get word from her because we heard from the white men when they got caught over there with their bullets. And so now we want to hear from her. Miss Rita from Orlando got caught up there too. She's the first woman and first black woman that actually got caught up there. And part of the reason also is because I believe that she was traveling. She wasn't traveling with a man or a companion, because in a lot of these other cases, and I could be wrong, so correct me if I'm wrong, but a lot of these other cases, what's happening is the guy goes over there with his family, so it's a wife and a husband. The luggage get caught up. The husband wind up taking a rap. The wife comes back home, tends to the kids until they figure it all out, and then they get released. Well, she is the first woman to get caught up over there, and it's largely because, I'm assuming, because she's a single, independent woman, and that does not make it, me harder on her, but I'm just saying, when y'all making an adjustment and y'all deciding to go to some of these countries, be careful of what you get yourself into, because now you got to take responsibility for it. There's no man to take the rap for you. You know what I'm saying?
This morning, we are hearing from 2 more Americans who have been detained in Turks and Caicos after ammunition was found in their luggage. Now, 5 Americans face up to 12 years in prison in the Caribbean territory. None of them were found to be carrying any firearms. Chris Van Cleave was first to report on this story. He has the latest as the Americans fight for leniency together.
I never experienced nothing like that.
Fighting back tears, Sharita Greer still can't believe her surprise Mother's Day dream vacation with her daughter has turned into a nightmare.
I knew it. And again, it doesn't mean I don't think that she should get 12 years, but I'm no judge and jury, and I can't determine the rules of other countries. You know what I'm saying? But there was no man to be able to take the rap for her, and so she got it as a Mother's Day gift. And so she traveling with her daughters. You get caught up, ain't no man to be able to take that L for you or to be able to handle it for you.
So it was just so unreal to me. And all they kept saying was like, this is a serious charge. 12 years mandatory to prison. 12 years.
The Orlando grandmother was heading home when airport security in Turks and Caicos spotted 2 bullets lodged under a flap in her carry-on bag.
You spent a few nights behind bars.
I did.
What was that experience like?
They chained me to a chair by my leg. It's cold, scared. It was awful. It was so awful. I couldn't sleep. No peace.
Thank you, Stephen. I'm going to be reading that super chat.
A nightmare.
Greer is now the 5th American in recent months facing up to a potential 12-year mandatory prison sentence after ammo was allegedly found in their luggage as they were leaving Turks and Caicos.
I wonder if we had rules as strict as that here, would it still be as much crime happening over here as it is in some of these places in these liberal cities?
All 5 say they did not realize the ammo was in their bag.
I wake up every day thinking that it's going to make more sense to me, and it doesn't.
Ryan Watson, a father of 2 from Oklahoma, will be in court next week.
I can tell the kids are hurting. It's probably too much weight for an adult to bear, let alone a 7 and a 9-year-old.
The TSA acknowledges officers missed 4 rounds of hunting ammo in Watson's carry-on bag last month at the Oklahoma City airport. TSA Administrator David Pekoski.
How are you going to stop bullets from getting missed?
We're never going to be able to stop everything that we want to stop. So when we do have these misses, we take them very seriously and do everything we can to figure out why.
Now there is growing pressure on the tourist hotspot. 3 U.S. governors sent letters asking for leniency, and a congressional delegation just left the islands after meeting with top leaders.
They were very clear that, there's going to be times for discretion and the expedition, and everybody is all on the same side of wanting this to come out.
So she finally speaks out and she said that it's a difficult situation and it's cold and they be chaining you up in there. But the Turks and Caicos leader responds about all of these people facing these charges over in this country. Take a look.
Tonight, new hope for the 5 Americans detained in Turks and Caicos, charged with bringing ammunition into the country, now facing a 12-year prison sentence.
We do not target U.S. citizens or any other nationality.
Today, the tropical island's leader saying that mandatory minimum has never been imposed by the court and can be overruled in cases with exceptional circumstances.
Judges can impose a custodial sentence of less than 12 years and a fine that they consider fair and just.
The statement comes amid increasing pressure from elected officials in the U.S.
If they're not reasonable with how they treat our citizens, then I think we ought to issue a do not travel advisory.
A bipartisan group.
And that's the power that you then have as an American, is that if you don't like something that's happening in somebody else's country, then you can issue a do not travel advisory to Turks and Caicos. And then what you do is you start to make them suffer in tourism dollars. And then that's going to force them to make the adjustment because they don't want their citizens to be detained under what they would feel is to be very egregious laws that ultimately keep you down and out possibly for years or even months to come, right? But the other side of that conversation is you don't get to determine what the laws are in other countries. And so if you don't like it, then you have the option of not going there. That's the other caveat. Understand how it is and how it works in other countries. Understand what's going on and why, but you can't go over there and you can't start making the rules in the same way that we don't want people to come over here and start making the rules. Now, me in particular, I have decided that there are so many other places inside of the world that I can travel to that I don't have to worry about catching 12 years if I just so happen to miss a bullet that just so happened to roll over inside of my backpack that I never had in there in the first place. And then I get caught and then I'm out there, got to get fleeced for $10,000 just because I want to get home back to my family. You know what I'm saying? So me personally, I'm not going over to Turks and Caicos ever. And it's not, I don't need to as much. Like I'm not that desperate for a Turks and Caicos vacation in order to take the risk. And so until they change, then I'll just be chilling here in the United States of America and I don't have to deal with this nonsense.
Group of lawmakers traveling to the islands on Monday. And turning up the heat on Secretary of State Antony Blinken on Capitol Hill this week.
Your department is just weak. It's feckless. One is a grandmother from Florida she was caught with 2 rounds of ammunition in her purse. She was chained to a desk for 3 days. You don't need to say anything.
Prompting this fiery exchange.
Do not travel. End the detention of those Americans and bring them home. We're done talking. You need to now act.
Well, I will apologize to no one for the efforts that our people make every day.
All of this as the freedom of 5 Americans hang in the balance, including the latest to be arrested, Florida grandmother Sharita Shanice Greer.
That day turned my whole life upside down. Just that quick.
The only trouble she's ever been in before, a speeding ticket, until she was arrested at the Turks and Caicos airport on May 13th after security found 2 bullets in her bag.
That's crazy, bro. It's crazy. Why would a grandmother have 2 bullets inside of her bag? And then she got to be careful what she say, because she's basically at the mercy of that other country. And she can't say nothing as opposed to it and say, well, maybe they planted it on me or whatever like that, because I don't know. Maybe she just had 2 random bullets inside of her backpack as a grandmother in Orlando. You know what I'm saying? But she can't say nothing, because then it makes her look bad and it makes the country look bad, which they could possibly retaliate when she go before a judge. So now she just got to say, oh my God, I'm under duress. Please get me out of here. Man, I couldn't be bothered.
It was an honest mistake. It fell up under the bottom of the flap on, in my carry-on. And it was no way possible that I could see it.
Now facing the unimaginable, thinking of her family back home and hoping for leniency.
Missing my grandkids, my children. I got a whole life, a loving family back home, and I just want all of us to make it home.
I'm sorry, Harpo. Who is these people? Are these the other men that were detained over there, or is this is a part of your loving family? Anyways, send prayers up for old girl, because we don't want her over there doing no 12 years. I would rather Brittany Griner head back over to Russia than to have Rita over there from Orlando that ain't never got no trouble in her life over doing 12 years in Turks and Caicos. You know what I'm saying? Let me read a couple of these super chats and then we're going to continue over with the show. Staff Slayer 1 says, when Trump is president again, Turks, Haiti, China, and the whole world will put respect back in America's name. Y'all got to vote first. Y'all got to participate. No mail-in ballots. Actually go to the polls. Mike Razor says, LOL, not she got it as a Mother's Day gift. A Mother's Day curse out here in these streets. Shout out to Most Hated and Underrated in the building. Most Hated and Underrated says, hey, AD, don't be surprised if other countries start doing this to keep Americans out. Dubai, now Turks and Caicos. No, I don't think so. Because one of the reasons why Dubai has invested so much money in what they do is because they want to attract tourism dollars. And so why would they do that when Americans can come in and spend the type of money that they want to spend? They just want you to abide by their rules. Tourism is a huge industry. Huge industry. D. Will, my guy. I'm skeptical that this many people have loose rounds in their luggage all in the same airport. Let this be a lesson, though. Do inventory on your firearms and ammunition. All of my firearms and ammunition is accounted for. Facts. That's a whole fact, though. Sly White in the building says, ain't barbecue over in Haiti? Yes, barbecuing. It's the reason why he got that nickname. Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, turn on your notifications. We got a couple more things that we want to address before we get up out of here. No, that's not what we wanted to talk about. Hold on, let me see. Let me see what we got going on over in these streets. NBA. Oh, wait a minute. I didn't put the thing, but we're gonna do the thing. All right. How NBA and NFL players go broke in taxes. Now, one of the reasons why I find that this is such an interesting conversation is because A, it's the Millionaire Morning Show, and then B, somebody sent this to me in my email, while also I got word that Antonio Brown is out here filing for bankruptcy. Now, if you go through this article, ladies and gentlemen, and obviously you got Sean Kingston, whose real name is not even Sean Kingston. Shout out to Portia Jones. I'm definitely going to be reading that super chat shortly. I love you, Portia. Antonio Brown, despite making over $81 million from his NFL career alone, recently filed for bankruptcy and said that he's $3 million in debt. Now, I broke this down and I said, listen, It's unfortunate that a person that is owned gross has earned over $81 million, has filed for bankruptcy, but I also added a caveat to it, and I said, listen, it doesn't necessarily mean that he's broke. We don't know. We don't count pockets. We just go by whatever the news is reporting, and then we report it to you and we give our opinion. But a lot of times when people file for bankruptcy, such as Trump, such as other people, such as 50 Cent, for example, is to reorganize and to make sure that they're not affected on a personal level, especially when it comes to lawsuits, people trying to get money out of you. You might have punched somebody and then they got $1 million as a result of it. And so a lot of times it prevents you from being able to go broke by making sure that you retain as much money as possible and allow for you to be able to reorganize. For example, it says that this Antonio Brown lawsuit that also files under this whole bankruptcy thing, for example, it includes $1.2 million awarded to a truck driver named Anton. Shout out to the Antons in the streets. Whom Brown reportedly assaulted after the receiver had failed to appear in court in a case in 2022, according to the court filing obtained by the Times-Union. Now, if you out here getting sued and you punching people and you trying to avoid yourself from being given over default judgments of $1.2 million, then you probably should appear in court. So although you may have filed for bankruptcy, that does not necessarily mean that you did not fumble the bag and you do some stuff that wasn't supposed to be done in the first place. Said that a 35-year-old who also played for the Steelers, Raiders, and the Buccaneers and the Patriots also owes hundreds of thousands of dollars in credit card debt. Hundreds of thousands of dollars in credit card debt. Let me say that again. Hundreds of thousands of dollars in credit card debt. Credit card debt. These are NFL players that made over $81 million. When I tell y'all on a regular basis that on average, an athlete, NFL, NBA, all of these guys, they are usually broke within 5 years of leaving the league. And that I'm not impressed with these rappers. I'm not impressed with these athletes. None of these people actually mean anything to me because it doesn't necessarily mean that they know how to manage money effectively or they know how to give you advice on how you're supposed to move as an individual. I mean it. I 100% mean it. 100% mean it. Okay? Now, a part of it is also to say, well, how did he fumble $81 million? How can Antonio Brown fumble $81 million and be $3 million in debt, including hundreds of thousands of dollars in credit card debt? Well, for one thing is that when you get $81 million, you don't actually get to keep $81 million. You're probably going to keep somewhere close to 30, maybe 35. Now, a lot of people say, well, that's still a lot of money. And it is still a lot of money. But I also want you to realize that the government gets at least half before you even lift a finger. Case in point, Josh Powell. Josh Powell recently appeared on Big Facts. And one of the things that he had in a conversation with is how far a bag usually goes for NBA, NFL players, athletes, and high net worth people, especially if you don't understand how money works. Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. And make sure y'all tap into the Patreon because I don't want y'all giving over more than y'all have to legally over to the federal government.
So if they give you a contract for 50 to 100 M's in NBA, NFL, whatever, like how much of that do you see? How much of that does Josh Powell get to go fuck up? After you pay your agent, your taxes, your lawyers, your trainer, like what does that 100 M, what do the 100 M's really mean?
We'll go with the 50. You know what I'm saying? So
Okay.
out the gate, depending on where you live, you might as well have that.
Let's stop right there. Let's stop right there and let's take a moment of silence for giving away half of everything you earn to somebody who has no vested interest other than to send your money over to Ukraine, Taiwan, and Israel. Let's take a moment of silence for everybody that had never made over $500,000 in a year and is not married, or maybe you are married. And you didn't have a business, you didn't have no write-offs, you didn't buy no vehicles that weighed over 6,000 pounds, you didn't invest back into yourself, you didn't have anything. You didn't have anything to be able to write off. You didn't even contribute it to your 401k. And so as a result, you was up to your eyelids, and the only thing that you took home was less than $250,000 just because they are the government. And then they took your money and they gave it over to social services and the homelessness and over in California and stuff like that. Shout out to everybody that has ever made a bag, because listen, if you ain't never did it, then you can't really speak on it. But what I'm trying to tell you is the first year that I ever made a crazy bag was going to be the last year that I ever gave away that amount of money legally. If y'all not a part of the Bag Chasers, understand that my next video coming out, my next live stream coming out, in addition to Stock Club, is going to be breaking down the dynamics of how you're supposed to move when you start to meet that threshold. I give you the information and I show you the receipts. And one of the things that I also do is I try to prep you for who you are to become, not just where you at. So I don't think you always going to be in that space. But let me help you to understand again. I want to beat this inside of your head. Keeping money and making money is a mindset. It is 100% a mindset. To think that you can make $1 million, and $1 million ain't really $1 million, but it's really like 400,000 after taxes, is insane. And if you ever been through it, you're going to be like, man, I'm never going through this again. You're going to understand why rich people think the way that they think and why workers think the way that they think, that it's a difference between the middle class and those that are on the upper echelon. And one of the reasons why they think the way that they think is because you have not unlocked it yet. You haven't experienced. You haven't suffered through the pain of owing the IRS. You don't know what it feels like to get a paycheck or to get a bonus. And it says 100,000 on there on the gross. And then after the taxes, it really say $45,000. That's insane. Absolutely insane. But let's go through it. Let's hear what he got to say.
Wow.
Out the gate. Just
for taxes.
Taxes and everything else. So by the time you pay
Damn,
the
I thought they
people,
only took 30%.
You can't make it
it
to
depends.
a
If you say, for example, you in New York,
Mm-hmm.
say for example you in Cali, like those are some of the highest places.
Oh yeah.
But then it's like, depending on where you go, they got different ways to go about it. But Texas, Florida, you know, those places that don't tax you. So out the gate, I would say just assume you got half of that. Then after
for taxes, okay.
Then after you pay the people that's working for you, if you got anybody, you know what I'm saying, you got to go ahead and take probably another ticket.
I mean, you paying agents, you paying lawyers, you paying baby mamas, baby car insurance. Everybody think you got a bag, so they're going to be hangers on until it's all over. That money go just like that. No matter how much you make, it could go just like that. You got to remember, these guys are in their early 20s. They don't even know what it feel like to be able to hold on to money or how to make the adjustments and not let people finesse them.
Just in case, but your agent going to get 2 to 3%. You know what I'm saying? So by the time you look up, man, and then you...
That's all they get?
I mean, but out of
2 to 3% of 50
out of
50
million,
a lot of money.
Oh, you know, I'm thinking of like standard management type shit, like 10%.
But if they find other deals and different things like that, so it's like, you know, that number can
fluctuate.
It can be whatever. So
okay.
I would say if somebody's modest and you real good with your money, you might be able to, and you put yourself on a budget, at least 20 out of that 50.
If you modest and you budget, now we know that most of these NBA players and all of that they not modest, they don't budget, and they drive the flyest cars, and they keep them a little couple chicks that they paying for, and they paying for box and all of that. If you modest and you budget, you may be able to keep 20 of the 50. Let me say that again. 20 of the 50. You're keeping 40%. I don't know if y'all do math. 2/5 is 40%. 40, if you modest, if you smart, you may keep 40% of what you earn, and it's got to last you the rest of your life. And you can't be out here stunting.
But okay.
And that's with living all, like, if you say your monthly spending is, let's just say it's $30,000 a month.
I'm saying, so before you get to go buy a lamb, a chain, or whatever, you're saying
First
that
thing they do, go buy a
turns into
chain.
20?
He said 50.
No, I said 50.
No, 50. I'm talking about 50 from taxes, you said.
No. I'm
No,
saying 50.
if we start at 50,
start at 50.
if you have 2 apples, and I take one
I'm
apple
saying
away.
50 from the 100.
No,
he just said
you said 50
Okay.
or 100.
Am I missing something here, or is it a misunderstanding? Make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description. We're going to break it down from a C student's perspective, all right?
Okay, I got you.
Yeah.
I got you.
So I chose the 50.
50 turns to 20.
Yeah.
Okay,
I
that's
chose the 50.
Ooh, that's still, but that's cool. We
That's
grateful
still a
for
hefty
that.
chunk.
Yeah.
See?
When you think about
And
it.
that's what the federal government is dependent on. They dependent on you being grateful. You better be grateful you making 20. Give me my cut. Man, I'll be looking like, so y'all just going to debo me? You just going to debo me. No, that's not how it works. You just don't be grateful that you just took it just because I made 20. You wasn't with me shooting in the gym?
Really, you know what I'm saying? You just looking at the number.
Yeah.
20 million is a lot, regardless. Don't give a fuck. That's just like you hit the number today for $1 billion, and they tell you after tax you get 200 million. You gonna be mad?
Right.
Reading that super chat.
No, but it's still an injustice.
How? You just ain't have nothing but the money you bought that ticket with.
See, and this is what they're depending on. They depending on you to have this ghetto, ignorant mindset to say, I'm just happy to be here. I'm just happy to be here. Listen, I don't care if you took 30 million of my 50 million and left me with 20. I still got 20 million. Listen, that only works the first 1 or 2 years when you first get it. After that second year and you start looking at that check stub, or you start looking online at that check stub, you're like, man, this junk actually hurt. This actually hurt. Why would I let you take 30 when I can keep the majority of it by making sure that I understand how money works more effectively, and then I can manage it in order to increase my net worth instead of focusing on how much money that I can cash out and I can throw inside of the strip club? That work for that work when you first get money. That don't work long term.
No, but what I'm saying is, but see, that's my thing. I want to just speak on that real quick. Because, like, people look at it like, okay, I still end up with more money than I had. But at the end of the day, you're still being robbed.
How?
Like, because it's your money that you won.
To me, you can't count what you ain't got. Because at the end of the day, to me, you can't count what you ain't got. I don't know how you folks' system works.
I feel like if I won this fair and square, and you're telling me that this is what I won fair and square, like, I need to win this fair and square.
No, but as soon as you
not
start,
that.
hold up, Jay, you're an American?
Nah, I'm from Indonesia.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes.
So as soon as you sign up and get that Social Security, you gotta get them folks their
But
money.
see, I ain't asked for no Social Security, man.
You
My
got
mom
it though.
did that. Like,
You got it.
Did you fuck up a lot of it in the beginning though?
No. I ain't never been that type of person. What did it for me was divorce.
I wasn't expecting that one. I wasn't a former two-time NBA champion, played for the Los Angeles Lakers, Josh Powell. He said, listen, of all of the things that could have got me, I wasn't tricking off on these hoes. I wasn't out here in these streets. You know what he said got him? You know what he said took him out? Divorce. Sheesh. Boy, you got the whole world against you out in these streets as a man.
And having to start over.
They said,
Yeah, that's what it is.
Some of the money though?
Some.
we want prenup.
Bro,
We want prenup.
You got the, and that's a lot of, there's a lot of learning curves in there. You know
So
what
you
I'm saying?
didn't have a prenup?
I did not.
Damn.
So I got married young, and what a lot of people don't tell you is like and again, there's more information out here now.
Yeah.
But at the time, they was like, well, you can get a prenup. It's like, I ain't got nothing. And this is at the beginning.
Oh, because you're not thinking that far.
I'm at the beginning, but it's also everything that y'all accumulate together, that's what you split.
What I tell you guys on a regular basis, and I don't know how much more I can be firm about this, is you have to project yourself and vet based off of where you're going, Not where you at. I wonder what his former wife looked like. I wonder if she was a black woman. I'm curious. Josh Powell, divorce. Images. Josh Powell, NBA, divorce. I think she was a black woman. If I'm not mistaken. Josh Powell, wife. I wonder what his wife was. I can't tell. Maybe it was all hidden. Nope. Yeah. Oh, hold on. Wait a minute. I got to see this real quick. Give me a second, y'all. Is this right? Is this his former wife? Oh, Josh, don't tell me you got finesse. Josh, was this the early one? Is this your first chick? I got to do some reaching out. I actually got contacted by his people. I wonder if this was his first wife. I don't know. I gotta deep dive into it. I got a deep dive. This is the only picture that I can find about it. So, shout out to Josh Powell. Got y'all again. Y'all out here getting finessed out in these streets, man. Shout out to Josh Powell. I might have to get him on the show. Didn't we get contacted by Josh Powell? Let me call Rita. See what's happening. Might have to get him on here so I can ask him some real questions. Read the super chat shortly.
Hello.
Hey, I'm on a live stream. I got a question for you really quickly. You busy?
Nope, just hanging out with my mom.
Was Josh Powell the NBA player that they recently reached out and said that I needed to interview him?
Was who?
Was his name Josh Powell? Remember we got the profile for the person that we were supposed to interview?
Uh-huh.
Was it Josh Powell?
I believe so. I really don't remember.
Find that email and then see what's happening. Maybe we need to get him on the platform.
Okay.
All right, bye. Anyway, so we'll see what happens. Maybe we'll do that as a Millionaire Morning Show special or a Patreon special or something. I don't know. Let me read some of the super chats and then we're going to continue. Look at this. Look at this sucker. Rita gonna do you the same way. Oh, interesting. Let's call her. I wonder if she gonna do to me the same way. Wonder why she didn't divorce me yet.
Hello.
Hey Rita, I got a question. Somebody asked a question on the live stream, and so I got a couple questions for you.
Okay.
Why you ain't divorced me yet and took all my money?
I don't know. I'm trying to be nice to you.
You trying to be nice to me?
Trying to be nice to you.
Oh man, what did you tell me before about if we ever got divorced? What you would want?
Like I wouldn't like try to take everything. I would just, of course, just want to be comfortable. Make sure that me and Les had a nice place to stay, nice car to drive. I wouldn't try to take all your stuff.
All right, I'll see you later.
Bye.
Boy, don't you know that I'm protected legally out here in these streets, man? Don't you know that I am one of the most protected men out here in these streets, man? Can't nobody take nothing from me. Can't nobody take nothing from Time Dog. Time Dog, listen, I wouldn't be the man that I am. I've been married for 20 years, man. I am at the top of my game. I make more money and I show my receipts every single day. Every single day. I'm curious why I haven't already gotten the divorce yet. Y'all want me to divorce so bad. So bad. So bad. That's unfortunate. They've been wishing on my downfall for a long time. Don't you know that I got documents up the wazoo? Yes. Anyways, we got to continue on with the show. Let me see. Portia, shout out to Portia Jones. Portia Jones says, wow, thanks for the at Beauty Therapy Boys a shout out. Idaho Bag Chasers. I caught the video later. I was surprised. Shout out to Portia Jones. We love you, baby. D. Will in the building says that local plumber gonna read this article and tell Antonio, go ahead, keep that $296. Dude ain't even play the plumber. You gotta pay the plumber, pay to play. Five Brown in the building says, yo, AB made $81 million. However, he missed out on $55.7 million total from getting cut from teams early. Breakdown: $50 million from the Raiders, $4 million from the Pats, $1 million from the Bucks, all self-inflicted. Ain't nothing like a self-inflicted wound, Five Brown. D. Will says he should have got the post-nuptial agreement after he got married since he didn't have money before. Nah, actually, you can get it way different. You don't have to get a post-nuptial agreement. You can get a prenuptial agreement also, because it's a strong possibility that his chick, because she divorced him, wouldn't sign a post-nuptial agreement. But you can also get stipulations within that, because if you ever get divorced, then this is what you will get as a result of it. But I'm not going to give y'all the whole game. Y'all got to pay for that. Five Brown in the building says, the worst case of bag fumbling by AB was his Raiders situation. He had $30 million guaranteed on September 11th, but he got himself cut on September 7th. All he had to do was shut up for 4 days, and he'd have made the $30 million. We might have to get Antonio Brown on the platform. Make sure security is in the building. All right, y'all, we got one more thing that we want to do, and I always like to highlight a content creator that hopefully we can bring some visibility to. This man right here, I couldn't find a less pixelated picture in particular, but this man right here, let me bring him up on the platform. Let me see what he got going on. His name is Matthew Mims. Matthew Mims. He said he quit his job for mental health reasons. I have not watched the video yet because I wanted to react to it with you guys. He's telling a story about why he quit his job. And we're going to break it down. So again, his name is Matthew Mims. If you wind up subscribing to his channel or checking out his content, just make sure you let him know that Anton from AntonDaniels.com sent you. Regardless of whether we agree with him or we disagree with him, we always want to give credit to the content creators, all right? So, Matthew Mims, this is why he quit his job. Last portion of the show. Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications, and then make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. Let's get to it.
Today, I am arriving back at my home, and this is a couple of hours after finishing my last day at my job. I quit my job, so let's talk about it. Long story short, I had a situation where I called out and I wasn't able to come in. I didn't get enough sleep before work, and I have been in a few accidents because of not sleeping and didn't want to run into that situation again. So after having a conversation with my wife, she said the best thing for me to do is to call out. And I hate calling out. I always want to do the best that I can at the job that I'm working, even if the job is a job that I don't like. So I'm not very comfortable with calling out, but my wife said in this instance it made sense. And at this point in
one of the things that I don't understand a lot of times is when people make a decision, it's one thing to run your thoughts by the person that's next to you or whatever like that, because the decisions that you make impact them too. And one of the reasons that you marry them is because hopefully they are smart and they can contribute into the relationship and they got your best interest at heart. But I've never, ever led a conversation by saying, my wife said, or my wife told me, and she said it was okay that I quit. Now, I'm not saying that my relationship is like everybody else's, but I am always curious as to why guys do that. Like, why do they say, my wife said, my girl said, it's your decision at the end of the day. Whatever it is that you decide to do, right or wrong, it's your decision. Why is it your wife that's making the decision for you as to whether or not you should work or you shouldn't work or you should quit your job or you shouldn't quit your job? You're the only person that can make that decision as a man based off of what's best for you and your family. But that's just my personal opinion. I don't understand that. I really don't understand that part. It's always my wife said, or I asked my wife if this and that. Listen, you didn't say I consulted, or I got people's thoughts around me, including my wife, in order to understand whether or not this makes sense. It's always my wife said, she told me to do it. Come on, man.
At this point in my timeline of working at this job, I've never called out before. So I gave a call to let my manager know.
Shout out to Chris James. I'm going to be reading that super check shortly.
And coming in, another manager answered the phone, said, your manager isn't here yet, but it's okay. This will be your one freebie. And I said, I appreciate it. I came in the next day with full intentions of letting my manager know that I'm sorry and I didn't mean to bail on him last minute, but
I wonder what
it just
he does for a living.
Wasn't a good time for me to come in due to the fact that I didn't check my schedule and I just didn't get sleep beforehand, and I didn't want to, run into any situation where I fall asleep driving or anything like that. And so as I come in to inform my manager about my apology, before I can even get anything out, he's immediately talking about how I didn't come in. And I try to explain my situation. He says it doesn't matter, and basically goes on to tell me about how my life outside of work does not matter because I am obligated to do whatever I have to do to come in and work for the grocery store. Also, at the time, my son was having some problems sleeping, so I wanted to stay home to help my wife with that as well. As soon as I mentioned my son, he said that your home life is something you have to have handled outside of work. That has nothing to do with me. And yeah, I think it's crazy to see how different managers, and I feel like corporate America in general, just doesn't care about their employees. And when I say they don't care, it's whenever something is happening outside of work. Whatever life you have outside of that company, it's like they don't believe that life exists. And
nobody cares. Just be honest with you. Nobody cares. Because, okay, so let me break it down from this perspective, right? Let's say you're the owner of the company, right? And I'm the type of person personally, which I care for my employees. I care what happened to my people. However, I'm not obligated to because I'm paying you for a specific job, right? And so if I'm meeting an expectation, and I think that this is the difference between people that look at themselves as workers and people that look at themselves as go-getters. The go-getters understand they move everything else around where it is that they trade their time in for money because that's the way in which you pay for your dreams. That's the thing ultimately that you use in order to feed what you're going to do long term. And so you kind of sort of paying your dues, right? If I'm a business owner, for example, because this is the difference between a person that works and a person that looks at their time and money differently. If I'm a business owner, and I use this example regularly, and let's say, for example, something happened at home, right? Whatever it is, it happened at home. And I own this brick and mortar store and I got this restaurant. And so people are looking to get their food or their orders or their catering orders or whatever. And they're looking to get their stuff. Guess what they care about as far as my home life? Nothing. Because if I don't open those doors at 11 a.m. and make sure that their orders or whatever it is that I said that I was going to do when I'm not over delivering, guess what? I lose business. I'll go a step further. because everybody looks at it from an employee-employer relationship. Let's look at it from an owner-worker relationship. My people, whoever it is that work for me, whoever it is that depend on me, whoever it is that live stream with me, whoever it is that works for me as a developer, who works for me as an editor, who works for me as a contractor, they depend on me to make sure that their paychecks are there every other week. Every payday, that paycheck is there. Guess what? They don't care if my mother died. They don't care if my wife is divorcing me. They don't care if my kid is sick. You know what they care about? They got a car note, they got house notes, they got credit card bills, they got student loan payments, and they still got to pay for their stuff. And so if I don't over deliver and make sure that no matter what, that their paycheck is there and direct deposited on the day that they had already scheduled their auto pay to come out, ain't nobody checking for my family. And so whenever people start making it personal, I know that they don't necessarily have the mentality in order to be able to survive in today's economy because everything is capitalistic. And so I'm not saying that people shouldn't, even though I care about my people's family, I care about my people's health, I make sure that my people are taken care of, but they don't have a duty and an obligation to care about what you got going on outside of what they're responsible for you for. They got their own life, they got their own family in order to do it. I'm just telling you the truth. And the minute that you come to that conclusion, the minute that you start to understand that you are responsible for your own personal life, whatever happens outside of that, then you'll start to have more success when it comes to your financial life. Let me hear some more of what he got to say.
As soon as your hours start at whatever corporate job you're working, your life doesn't exist. And everything involved with your job is the utmost importance in your life. This was not a video I intended on making today, but just coming back from work, I really wanted to rant about this. And
again, this person's name is Matthew Mims. If you like his content or you want to check out more of it, make sure you go and visit his channel. I always like to highlight upcoming content creators.
I basically just want to let people know that it's okay to look out for your mental health. I am an entrepreneur, and I know that, hustle culture says, you got to get that money, and I'm all about that. But if you're in a setting that is mentally wearing you down, it's not worth it. It will never be worth it in that case. And I think it's important for us as entrepreneurs to know that, if you're in a 9-to-5 that you're doing to fund your dream and your passion, make sure the 9-to-5 is something that you can handle physically and mentally. If you're working at a job to fund your business and it is just mentally draining, taking all your energy, taking your mental capacity, it's just taking up so much. It's just weighing down on you so much. You're not going to be able to put more energy and time into your business because your 9-to-5 is draining you so much. And also, don't let people tell you that your life doesn't matter. This man told me that what was going on with my son did not matter.
Yeah, he said, fuck your feelings. Respectfully. Hey, man, listen, I got a son of my own, man. Like, I don't care about your Am I too hard? Am I? I don't give a fuck about what you got going on in your life. As a matter of fact, you don't even have to tell me what's going on in your life. Listen, you want to take a health day or whatever, you got extra PTO, cool, utilize it. Give me 24-hour heads up or whatever, unless it's an emergency, and we can go from there. But I genuinely don't care. I don't even want to know if you're married or not. I don't even want to know your personal life. I don't want to do none of that. Honestly, I don't care. Listen, are we here to get this money or we not? Because if not, then we got to figure something out. If so, then the pleasantries is just a part of it. That's extra.
The craziest thing about this is he has kids. With me having my son, I don't know how I could ever look at someone else and be like, yeah, whatever's going on with your kid doesn't matter. But one thing I did find out is that he's been working in the grocery industry for over 30 years. So, I feel like some people get so caught up in their line of work, they feel like that really is what's most important, which obviously is not true. No one is going to tell me that stocking a grocery store is more important than my family.
Cool. So I'm hoping that you got all your ducks in a row. I'm hoping that all of your finances, because see, I don't believe in just quitting a job for the sake of quitting a job. I believe that you strategically plan, you leave on good terms, and you make sure you got something else lined up, and you don't just make an emotional decision. And so I've always believed that it's okay to have emotions. We all have emotions, but you cannot make a business decision based off of how you feel emotionally at that particular time. Let me say that again. Maybe some people haven't been through enough, but I've been through it. I've seen what it felt like to lose everything. I've seen what it felt like not to be able to feed your family. I'm very appreciative of every single opportunity that I get. And so for me, it's a little bit different because, I just don't take it for granted. And I'm always planning. If I don't like what's going on here, okay, well, I'm going to line something else up. I'm going to get another job. I'm going to get another opportunity. I'm going to apply for something else. I'm going to get something else lined up. And then I'm going to give you 2 weeks notice before I get up out of here to make sure that we can get a replacement, and I'm going to leave on good terms. That way I always have a relationship and I'm always in a good space with whoever it is that I'm dealing with, regardless of how I feel about you. So I'm going to be professional and I'm going to take care of business and everything. But I'm never, ever going to make an emotional decision when it comes to my bag. I'm going to be very careful. I'm going to be strategic and I'm going to plan it out. That's just me personally.
That's absolutely insane. If you're in a position or at a job where you feel like there is a higher up or somebody that is constantly just hounding you about your outside life and just doesn't allow you to thrive outside of work, or cuts you down whenever something happens outside of work that is important to you, you should probably leave. Because jobs like that, they don't see you as a human. They just see you as some sort of robot that just is only supposed to come in, have no emotion, and is only supposed to focus on the job. Which is crazy because we're literally all humans. We all have emotions. We all have lives. We all have experiences and things outside of our line of work. And it's important to make sure that you hold those things dear and true to yourself. If my wife has an emergency, I don't care who tells me that's not important. I will go and run as fast as I can to help my wife out. And the same goes for you.
No, I need to know the context of the emergency. Hey, you got an emergency? What's going on? Oh, my girlfriend pissed me off. Oh, okay, baby, listen, take a nap. I'll see you when I get home from work. I'm not, unless it's a life event or it's a problem, I will see you when I get home. I am not at your beck and call, and I could tell people who are new to this game. Emergency? Ain't nobody else you can call?
Don't let anybody tear you down and make you feel like you as a person and your life outside of work isn't valuable, because it is. By the way, how are you guys liking the outside video shot, office shots I do? But I took my dog out to use the bathroom this morning and I was like, it looks pretty crazy, this thing to do, but I'm going to shoot this video, but that was just something I really had on my heart. Corporate America can really feel like a killer to an entrepreneur sometimes, As entrepreneurs, sometimes we have to take that job in order to fund our dreams. And, it's not the most easy thing to do, but sometimes it's the thing we have to do. And one thing I will say is working a job you don't like to work to build a business or to build a dream or a career that you actually want to do, what I will say is I feel like it's something all entrepreneurs must do, because it builds this kind of motivation in your spirit where you're like, I don't ever want to do this again. And then when times get hard, you can think back to those moments where it's like, yeah, I'm never going to do this again. Because that moment where he told me my life outside of work doesn't matter made me want to be my own boss so bad. And it's like, I never want to work for somebody who can have this kind of opinion and say these kind of things towards me. So
why? You still going to be working for people that don't give a fuck about you? What, you thought that having your own business and being your own boss mean that people ain't going to have criticism and feel some type of way about you that's basically your boss? Because everybody is being compensated based off of the value that they have. Look, when you become an entrepreneur, contrary to popular belief, you have a whole lot of bosses all of a sudden. Because that one Yelp review where somebody feeling some type of way and you didn't provide the type of customer service that they wanted, automatically then becomes your boss. When Keith Lee come through and you out there hustle culture, listen, I bet you if if you having an emergency and your kid can't sleep and you own a business, and if Keith Lee, you found out somehow, some way, that ahead of time Keith Lee was coming through in order to change the fortunes of your family, I bet you would be there. I bet you your boss Keith Lee will get you there. Listen. I'm just being real. I have to put a counter narrative out there to help y'all to understand that nobody cares about your feelings. Nobody. And they're not supposed to. But you have to capitalize and leverage. Man, I will never forget what my high school assistant principal told me, Ms. Gatlin. She says, success is when opportunity meets preparation. Success is when opportunity meets preparation. It's not off how you feel. It's when opportunity, meaning that it's going to come occasionally, periodically, meets preparation. I'm ready for it. So you just going to be sitting at the crib kicking your feet up all the time, big dog? No job, no nothing because you got your emotions?
Just work hard to get out of that situation, whatever you can do. Because as a creative, and as an entrepreneur, we're really meant to work for ourselves. We don't need someone, telling us our lives don't matter. We don't need people in our life telling us that we're not valuable. It's just harmful negativity you don't need in your life at all. So, work hard to get out of that situation immediately. Like me, as soon as that happened, I immediately started looking for other jobs. Definitely want to give God the glory and honor for creating this video. I hope and pray that this video gets to someone that needs to hear this. And, if you resonate with this, thank you for taking the time to stop and watch. Comment down below here, worked a job, and comment the situation you went through that, in the comments below. A video you like, please make sure to like and
all right, so again, his name is Matthew Mims. I like to highlight the fellow content creators, whether I agree with him or I don't agree with him. And he said he quit his job, and that's that. Anyway, so while we over here getting it on Memorial Day because we never miss and we got to be an example of the thing that we talk about, I hope you guys are enjoying your Memorial Day. We will be doing the Q show tonight. So make sure that y'all gird up. Make sure that y'all do what y'all got to do. Make sure you get your bags. And don't miss, because I never will. And the minute that you miss, I'm taking yours. You know what I'm saying? Let me read a couple of these super chats, and then we're going to get it popping. Let me give a shout out to my dog, Chris James, in the building. Chris James says, for a fantastical show. Yo, we don't miss at all. We put our effort, we put our everything into the things that we do on a daily basis, Chris. And I appreciate you, bro, because you don't have to do this. For everybody that contributes into the platform, my dog D. Willed and contributed a lot, Chris James, everybody that sent $1 to whatever you send, you didn't have to. And I appreciate you, big dog. So thank you, Chris James. I appreciate you for that. Also, got my dog D. Will again, says, your wife said, you're supposed to be the leader. Talk to him, D. He also says he had a 9 to 5. Why is he so sleepy? He needs to take a nap in his car during his lunch break. That 15-minute nap does wonders. How a grown man quit before getting another job. This is crazy. Crazy work out here in these streets. Victor Williams is in the building, says he goes home and cries in his wife's arms with a pint of ice cream on the nightstand. I don't understand what's going on. Maybe I'm built from a different era. Wealth Building Journey says 2 things can be true at the same time. You don't work, you don't eat. Number 2, you plan your life goals and work on your plan. F your feelings. Yeah. Make sure y'all tapping into the Patreon. Link is in the description. We working. I'm actually about to go and view this property really quickly before we start to prepare for the night. And life is good. Listen, I love you guys. I appreciate y'all. Y'all are the greatest audience on earth. We get back to our regularly scheduled program. But then again, I guess this is our regularly scheduled program because we never miss in the first place. Monday through Friday, every single day of the week, we get it, we hustle, we grind, and then we live the life that we want to live because we have the option to do so. I love you guys. I appreciate y'all. Greatest audience on earth. Make sure y'all hit a like for the YouTube algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. And also, I want you to understand that I need y'all to send this to all of your friends and family because we don't want to be successful by ourselves. I love you. I appreciate y'all. I'm going to holler at y'all later. Peace.